The stars twinkled in the night sky above Alan Rogers' farm in Nebraska. It was a clear night, perfect for stargazing. Alan sat on his porch after a long day of working in his cornfields. He sipped coffee from his favorite mug and looked up at the stars. He had always wondered if there was life out there among those distant lights. Little did he know, he would soon get his answer. Far above Earth, Commander Xerx of the Dravarian Empire observed the blue planet on his view screen. His large, gray-skinned hands tapped impatiently on the control panel of his flagship. The Dravarians were new members of the Galactic Collective, a group of 17 advanced alien species that had been exploring the galaxy for thousands of years. "Sir, we have confirmed that this planet has abundant resources," reported Lieutenant Malk, Xerx's second-in-command. "The native species has only primitive technology. They have visited their moon but have not developed interstellar travel." Xerx nodded, his yellow eyes narrowing. "The collective has classified this world as off-limits for contact or resource extraction, but the collective's rules are flexible." "Sir, the directive is clear," Malk said nervously. "Earth is to be left alone until the humans develop interstellar capabilities. The Dravarian Empire needs these resources," Xerx snapped. "Our homeworld suffers while we obey rules made by species who have never known true hardship. We fought a bitter war, and now we need to rebuild." Malk looked uncomfortable, but didn't argue further. Xerx was known for his temper, and few dared to challenge him. "Prepare the invasion force," Xerx ordered. "We will establish beachheads across their North American continent first, then expand from there." In orbit around Jupiter, Ambassador Trelks of the peaceful Oridani species watched in horror as the Dravarian ships moved toward Earth. The Oridani observation post had been monitoring human development for centuries. Trelks's delicate blue fingers quickly activated the communication system to contact the Collective Council. "This is Ambassador Trelks. The Dravarians are moving to invade Earth. This violates our most sacred protocols." The response came quickly. "We will convene an emergency session, Ambassador. But you know our procedures. A formal response may take time." "The humans have no defenses against this technology," Trelks protested. "We must follow proper procedures, Ambassador. Document everything, and continue observation." Trelks slumped in defeat. The collective was bound by its own bureaucracy. Any help would come too late for the humans. Back on Earth, Alan Rogers was about to go inside when the sky lit up. At first he thought it was the northern lights, unusual for Nebraska. Then the lights took shape. Massive vessels descending from the sky, their crystalline structures reflecting the moonlight. One ship hovered directly above his cornfield. It was at least the size of a football stadium. Alan froze, his coffee mug slipping from his fingers and shattering on the porch. "Mary," he called to his wife inside. "Mary, you need to see this." Mary Rogers came out, wiping her hands on a dish towel. When she saw the ship, she gasped and grabbed Alan's arm. "What is it?" she whispered. I think they're here," Alan replied, his voice shaking. All across rural Nebraska and in other remote locations around the world, similar ships descended. Most people reacted with fear and wonder. Some ran. Some took pictures. Some prayed. At the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., General Susan Taylor was awakened by an urgent phone call. She listened intently, her expression growing grimmer by the second. "How many contacts?" she asked, already dressing. "At least 30 major vessels, ma'am. They've landed or are hovering over rural areas in Nebraska, Montana, Arizona, and similar locations in other countries. Any hostile actions?" "Not yet, ma'am. They appear to be waiting." General Taylor arrived at the Pentagon within the hour. The Situation Room was buzzing with activity. Satellite images showed the alien vessels clearly. They were unlike anything humans had ever built. Curved, crystalline structures that seemed to shimmer and change colors. "Madam President," General Taylor said when the secure line connected to the White House, "we are facing what appears to be first contact with an extraterrestrial species. Their technology is far beyond ours. I recommend we attempt communication while preparing our forces for any scenario." The president agreed and appointed veteran diplomat William Carter to handle first contact protocols. Carter had written papers on theoretical first contact scenarios, though he had never expected to put them into practice. Within hours, Carter and a small team were on a plane to Nebraska. They landed at a small airfield and drove toward Alan Rogers's farm, where one of the largest ships had landed. "Remember," Carter told his team, "we represent all of humanity now. Our actions will set the tone for our species' first interaction with alien life." They approached the alien ship under a white flag, a universal symbol of peace. Carter carried a tablet with basic mathematical sequences and images designed to establish communication. As they got closer, a section of the ship's side shimmered and disappeared, revealing an opening. 3 tall gray-skinned figures emerged. They had yellow eyes and wore ornate armor that seemed to shift and move with them. "My name is William Carter," the diplomat said clearly, stepping forward. "I come in peace, representing the people of Earth." He held up the tablet, displaying a simple mathematical sequence, the universal language. The lead alien looked at the tablet, then at Carter. Without warning, it raised a device and fired. A beam of energy struck the ground in front of the human delegation, scorching the Earth. "Your planet now belongs to the Dravarian Empire," the alien said in perfect English, having instantly analyzed and learned the language from Earth's broadcasts. "Surrender your resources and you may live as servants. Resist, and you will be destroyed." Carter stepped back, shocked. This wasn't first contact. It was invasion. As the diplomatic team retreated, the alien ships across the globe suddenly activated. Energy beams struck military bases, power plants, and communication centers. Within hours, Earth's major cities were in chaos. In Geneva, the United Nations convened an emergency session. For the first time in human history, all nations found themselves with a common enemy. Traditional rivalries and conflicts were set aside as humanity faced extinction. The invasion had begun. But the aliens were about to learn something about humans. When backed into a corner, they fought back. And they never, ever gave up. 1 week after the first ships appeared, much of Earth was in chaos. Major cities had been hit hard. The alien ships targeted power plants, military bases, and government buildings first. Many people fled to the countryside, but humans were not giving up. In Geneva, Switzerland, the remaining world leaders met in an underground bunker. Old enemies sat side by side, planning how to save their planet. "We need to coordinate our remaining forces," said the Chinese president. "Separate, we will fall. Together, we might stand a chance." The American president nodded. "We agree. We propose a united Earth Defense Force with combined command." It was a historic moment. Nations that had once pointed nuclear weapons at each other now joined hands against a common enemy. General Susan Taylor was appointed to lead the military response. She set up a command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, safe from alien scanners. "What do we know about their weaknesses?" she asked her team of military experts and scientists. "Not much," admitted Colonel Jason Hall. "Their ships have strong shields. Our missiles barely scratch them." "But we did notice something," added Major Lisa Monroe, who had been a physicist at MIT before the invasion. "The aliens seem uncomfortable. In our atmosphere, the ones we've seen outside their ships move slowly like they're struggling." Taylor leaned forward. "Explain." "Earth's gravity is probably stronger than their home planet," Monroe said, "and our air might be different from what they breathe. It's not killing them, but it's not comfortable either." "That's something we can use," Taylor said. "What about their technology?" "We recovered pieces from a damaged ship in Arizona," said George Martinez, another scientist. "Their energy systems are advanced, but they follow rules of physics. Given time, we might find weaknesses." Taylor nodded. "Time is what we need to buy. Let's set up guerrilla operations to slow them down while our scientists work." In Nebraska, Alan Rogers had not fled his farm. When Dravarian soldiers came to claim his land, he hid in his storm cellar. Now, he was part of a growing resistance network. "They're setting up some kind of mining operation 2 miles east," he told Captain Kate Wilson, who led a special forces team operating behind enemy lines. Wilson, a tough woman with short brown hair and eyes that missed nothing, nodded. "Show me on the map." Alan pointed to a spot. "They're digging deep, bringing out metals and loading them onto smaller ships." Wilson studied the map. "Perfect target. We hit them tonight." All across the world, similar resistance groups formed. The Dravarians expected humans to surrender after the initial attacks. Instead, they found a species that grew stronger under pressure. Commander Xerx was frustrated. He paced the bridge of his flagship, which now hovered above what was once New York City. "Why are they still fighting?" he demanded. "Their militaries are in ruins, their cities burn, yet they continue to attack our mining operations." "Lieutenant," Malk checked the latest reports. "We lost another processing center in Russia, and the mining operation in Africa was hit last night. Increase security at all sites," Xerx ordered. "And begin the second phase. Target their food production and water supplies. Hunger will break their will." Meanwhile, in a hastily established lab beneath Denver, Lisa Monroe and George Martinez worked day and night studying the alien technology. They had pieces from 2 different ships now. "Look at this," Monroe said, pointing to a glowing crystal. "It's their power source. It emits an energy pattern I've never seen before." Martinez scanned it with a device they had built. "The frequency changes in a pattern. It's not random." Monroe's eyes widened. "That's it. Their shields operate on specific frequencies. If we can disrupt those frequencies, we might be able to bring down their shields," Martinez finished. They worked for 3 more days without sleep. Finally, they had a prototype, a device that could potentially disrupt Dravarian shields. "It's untested," Monroe warned General Taylor, "and we only have enough materials for 3 devices." "It's more than we had yesterday," Taylor said. "We'll test it on a smaller ship first." Captain Wilson's team was chosen for the mission. They headed to a location in Colorado where a small Dravarian scout ship landed daily to collect water from a lake. "Remember," Wilson told her team, "we get 1 shot at this. The device needs to be within 100 yards of the ship to work." They hid near the lake, waiting. The alien ship arrived right on schedule. It hovered just above the water, extending a tube to suck up thousands of gallons. Wilson activated the device. At first, nothing happened. Then, the ship's shield flickered. It became visible as a bubble of energy around the ship, but now it was unstable, with gaps appearing. "Fire," Wilson ordered. Her team launched missiles at the ship. Without its shields, the alien vessel was vulnerable. The missiles hit, and the ship crashed into the lake in a cloud of steam. For the first time, humans had destroyed an alien ship. The news spread quickly, giving hope to resistance fighters worldwide. In the command center, General Taylor allowed herself a small smile. "It works. Now we need to make more of these devices." "We're already working on it," Monroe said, "but we need more materials." "Tell me what you need and we'll get it," Taylor promised. In orbit, Ambassador Trelix continued to plead with the Collective Council. "The Dravarians are violating our most sacred laws. Humans are dying while we debate." The Council's leader, a tall being with translucent skin, responded, "We have sent formal protests to the Dravarian Empire, but our laws require a full investigation before military intervention. By then it will be too late," Trelix argued. "There is another option," said a council member. "We could provide information to the humans, technical data that might help them defend themselves. That would also violate non-interference protocols," another member objected. "The protocols are already broken," Trelix pointed out. "And I believe these humans deserve a chance." Back on Earth, the resistance was growing stronger. Each small victory gave people courage. Xerxes' attempts to break human will through attacks on food and water only made people more determined. 3 months after the invasion began, humans had learned to fight back effectively. They used Earth's environment against the invaders, setting traps in dense forests where alien sensors couldn't penetrate, staging ambushes in narrow mountain passes, and even fighting in snowstorms that confused Dravarian troops. And soon, they would have a new weapon. Monroe and Martinez worked with engineers worldwide to build shield disruptors. With each alien ship they brought down, they gained more materials and knowledge. The tide was beginning to turn. Humanity was learning that, against all odds, Earth was not a planet easily conquered. 6 months after the invasion began, the shield disruptor technology had changed everything. Teams of resistance fighters around the world attacked Dravarian outposts with growing success. Each victory provided more alien technology to study. True. Chicago, Colonel Ryan Davis led 1,000 soldiers in the first major battle to retake a major city. The Dravarians had turned downtown Chicago into a processing center for Earth's resources. "We have 6 shield disruptors," Davis told his officers. "Once we take down their shields, hit them with everything we've got." The battle began at dawn. Human forces attacked from all sides. When the shield disruptors activated, the alien defenses flickered and failed. For 7 days, they fought block by block through the ruined city. By the end of the week, the human flag flew over Chicago again. It was the first major city reclaimed from the invaders. News spread quickly. Similar battles took place in Shanghai, Lagos, and Rio de Janeiro. Humanity was fighting back. Commander Zerks couldn't believe the reports. He summoned his officers to the flagship above the ruins of what was once Washington, D.C. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "How are they defeating our forces?" "They have found a way to disrupt our shields," Lieutenant Malk explained. "And they are using our own weapons against us. They adapt quickly." Zerk slammed his fist on the control panel. "Then we must change our approach. Prepare the biological weapons. If they won't surrender, we will make this planet uninhabitable for them." Malk looked troubled. "Sir, biological weapons are forbidden by collective law, even in wartime. We are beyond such concerns," Zurich snapped. "The Empire needs this planet. Carry out my orders." On Earth, in a makeshift lab in Atlanta, Dr. Olivia Jackson and her team from the CDC had been studying dead Dravarian soldiers. "Their biology is fascinating," she told General Taylor over a secure video link. "Their immune systems are very different from ours." "How can that help us?" Taylor asked. "They have no natural defenses against Earth bacteria," Jackson explained. "Some of our common microbes are deadly to them. That's why they wear those suits. Outside their ships." Taylor leaned forward. "Could we use this as a weapon?" "We already are," Jackson said. "We've been growing cultures of bacteria that are harmless to humans but deadly to them. We can spread it around their bases." "Do it," Taylor ordered. Meanwhile, in a captured alien facility in Nevada, communications specialist Danny Baker had made a breakthrough. He had managed to tap into the aliens' communication network. "General, you need to see this," he told Taylor when she visited. "I've been listening to their transmissions for weeks. I'm starting to understand their language." He played a recording, then translated. "They're talking about a home fleet. More ships are coming, General, much bigger ones." Taylor's face grew grim. "How long do we have?" "Based on their communications, about 2 months, Baker said. But there's something else. They're arguing among themselves. Some of their leaders think this invasion was a mistake." "Can you contact them directly?" Taylor asked. "Not yet," Baker admitted. "But I'm working on it." There's also chatter about something called the Collective. It seems to be some kind of alliance of alien species. The Dravarians appear to be breaking their rules by invading us. This information gave Taylor an idea. "Keep working on that communication system. If we can reach this collective, maybe we can find allies out there." Baker nodded and returned to work. He didn't tell Taylor that he had already made progress. Late at night, he had picked up faint signals from somewhere near Jupiter. The signals were not Dravarian. In orbit around Jupiter, Ambassador Trellix was getting desperate. For months, the Oridani diplomat had been sending information to Earth, hoping humans would detect it. The Collective Council had forbidden direct contact, but Trellix was bending the rules. "Ambassador, your transmissions have been detected," his assistant warned. "The Council will consider this interference." "I am merely collecting data," Trellix claimed. "If my equipment happens to emit signals that humans can detect, that is a technical malfunction." His assistant wasn't fooled but said, "Nothing." Many in the observation post secretly supported Trellix's actions. Back on Earth, the war continued. The Dravarians launched their biological weapons, clouds of engineered spores that drifted over human cities. But thanks to Dr. Jackson's early warning, people were prepared with masks and protective measures, and the humans had a biological weapon of their own. Resistance fighters spread bacteria near Dravarian bases. The aliens began falling sick. Their suits couldn't keep out all of Earth's microbes. In his farm in Nebraska, Alan Rogers helped the resistance in a different way. His land had become a safe haven for refugees and a meeting place for resistance fighters. One night, Captain Wilson arrived with important news. "We captured one of their communication officers," she told the group gathered in Rogers' barn. "He told us something important before he died. The invasion wasn't authorized by their government." "What does that mean?" Rogers asked. "It means Commander Xerx is acting against orders from his own leaders," Wilson explained. "He's desperate to succeed before they find out. That's why he's escalating with biological weapons." This information spread through resistance networks worldwide. Humans realized they weren't fighting an entire alien civilization, just a rogue commander. In Denver, Lisa Monroe and George Martinez had made another breakthrough. Using captured alien technology, they had built Earth's first energy shield generator. "It's small," Monroe told General Taylor. "It can only protect a building, not a city. But it's a start." "Can we build more?" Taylor asked. "With more materials?" "Yes," Martinez said. "We're getting better at understanding their technology." Taylor nodded. "We'll use this one to protect the command center. Get to work on more." As the 8-month mark of the invasion approached, the tide had clearly turned. Humans had retaken several major cities. The shield disruptor technology was now widespread, and Dravarian ships were vulnerable. Earth's bacteria were taking a toll on alien troops, but the biggest threat still loomed. The Dravarian home fleet was on its way with reinforcements. Earth had months, not years, to prepare for a much larger invasion force. And in his flagship, Commander Xerx was planning a desperate final strategy. If he couldn't have Earth, no one would. He ordered his scientists to prepare weapons that could render the planet uninhabitable. The war for Earth was entering its most dangerous phase. 1 year after the invasion began, Earth prepared for its greatest test. The Dravarian home fleet had been detected entering the solar system. 50 massive warships, each 10 times larger than the vessels of the first wave, approached Earth. Inside Terre, what remained of the United Nations building in Geneva, world leaders gathered to hear General Taylor's plan. "We have weeks, not months," she told them. "Our scientists have modified our satellites to create a global shield network. It won't stop their fleet, but it might buy us time." "What about our own ships?" asked the Russian president, Admiral Frank. Johnson stepped forward. "We've rebuilt and modified 23 captured alien vessels. We've also constructed 15 of our own ships using their technology. It's not much against 50 warships, but it's all we have." The Chinese president nodded. "And our ground defenses?" "Shield generators protect major cities," Taylor said. "We have thousands of shield disruptors ready, and Dr. Jackson's bacterial weapons will be deployed against any ground forces." It wasn't enough, and everyone knew it. But humans would not surrender. Danny Baker had finally made contact with the mysterious signals from Jupiter. He sat in his communications room in Nevada, speaking through a translator device with Ambassador Trellix. "The Collective Council has finally authorized intervention," Trellix told him. "But their peacekeeping fleet is still weeks away. You must hold out until then." "Can you tell us anything about the Dravarian fleet?" Baker asked. "Their ships have a weakness," Trellix replied. "Their main reactors are located in the lower sections. If you can penetrate their shields, target those areas." Baker thanked the alien and rushed to report this information to Admiral Johnson. Johnson's fleet took position around Earth. His flagship was a modified Dravarian cruiser, now named Defiance. Captain Kate Wilson stood beside him on the bridge, her Special Forces team ready for boarding actions. "Sir, the enemy fleet has entered lunar orbit," reported a young officer. Johnson nodded. "All ships battle positions. Remember, we're fighting for everyone and everything we've ever known." The Dravarian fleet appeared, massive wedge-shaped vessels that dwarfed Earth's improvised navy. At their center was Xerxes' new flagship, twice the size of the others. "Open communication," Johnson ordered. Xerxes' face appeared on the screen. His yellow eyes showed surprise at seeing humans operating one of his ships. "Impressive," the alien commander said. "Your species is more resourceful than I expected, but it changes nothing. Surrender now and some of you may survive as workers." "We will never surrender," Johnson replied. "This is our home. Earth is not yours to conquer." Xerx laughed. "Then you will die. All of you." The screen went dark. The battle began. The Dravarian fleet launched energy beams at Earth. The satellite shield network activated, creating a blue bubble around the planet. The shield held, but it was already weakening. "All ships, attack pattern Delta," Johnson ordered. Earth's small fleet moved in groups of 3, targeting individual enemy vessels. On the ground, Lisa Monroe and George Martinez watched from their lab in Denver. "The satellite shield is at 60%, Monroe reported. "It won't last long." Martinez nodded grimly. "Then our ships need to buy us more time." In space, the battle raged. Earth ships, though outnumbered, fought with desperate courage. They used their smaller size and better knowledge of local space to their advantage, hiding behind the moon and debris to launch surprise attacks. Captain Wilson's team boarded a Dravarian ship, fighting their way to the engine room. They planted explosives on the reactor and escaped just before the massive vessel exploded. Other Special Forces teams attempted similar missions, with mixed success. Admiral Johnson's strategy focused on Xerxes' flagship. "If we can take out their command ship, it might disrupt their attack," he told his officers. The Defiance led a direct assault on Xerxes' vessel. 3 other Earth ships followed, firing concentrated bursts at the same shield points. On his flagship, Xerx watched with growing anger as the humans destroyed 5 of his ships. "Target their command vessel," he ordered. "Full power to forward weapons." The energy beam struck the Defiance directly. Its modified shields held for a moment, then failed. The ship took heavy damage. "Engine room hit," reported an officer. "We've lost drive power." Johnson grimaced. "Weapons status?" "Main cannon still operational, sir." "Then we keep fighting. Aim for their reactor section." The Defiance fired its remaining weapons at Xerxes' flagship. The shots hit their mark, causing explosions along the lower hull. Xerxes' ship returned fire, further damaging the Defiance. Johnson was thrown from his chair as consoles exploded around him. Wilson helped him up, blood streaming from a cut on her face. "Sir, we can't take much more," she said. Johnson nodded. "Prepare to evacuate. But first, one last attack. Full power, to forward guns." The Defiance fired everything it had at Xerxes' flagship. The shields around the alien vessel weakened. On Earth, Danny Baker had been monitoring the battle. He received an urgent message from Ambassador Trellix. 3 collective peacekeeping vessels have arrived at Jupiter, Trellix said. "They're moving to intervene, but they're still hours away." "We may not have hours," Baker replied, watching as more Earthships were destroyed. In orbit, a badly damaged Defiance prepared for its final attack. Johnson ordered everyone to the escape pods. "I'm staying, sir," Wilson said. "That's an order, Captain," Johnson replied. "Earth will need soldiers like you to rebuild." Reluctantly, Wilson left the bridge. Johnson piloted the dying ship directly toward Xerxes' flagship. "All power to engines and forward shields," he ordered the skeleton crew that remained. "We're going to ram them." The Defiance accelerated toward the alien command ship. Xerx saw the danger too late. The Earth vessel smashed through the weakened shields and plowed into the lower section of the flagship, right where the main reactor was located. The explosion was visible from Earth. Xerxes' flagship broke apart, secondary explosions rippling along its length. Without their commander, the Dravarian fleet fell into confusion. Some ships continued to attack while others pulled back. Then 3 new vessels appeared, sleek, silver ships unlike the Dravarian craft. They took position between Earth and the alien fleet. "Attention Dravarian forces," came a transmission, in multiple languages. This is Peacekeeper Zolan of the Collective. Your invasion of Earth violates our most sacred laws. Stand down immediately or face sanction. Most of the remaining Dravarian ships began to retreat. A few, loyal to Zerks until the end, continued fighting. The Collective vessels destroyed them, with ease. On Earth, people watched as the energy beams stopped. The satellite shield network, on the verge of collapse, held just long enough. Lisa Monroe looked up at the sky from her lab roof. "Did we win?" she asked softly. Martinez stood beside her. "I think we did." He put his arm around her shoulders. But at what cost? The battle for Earth was over, but the war had changed humanity forever, and their place in the galaxy would never be the same again. 2 years after the invasion ended, Earth had changed in ways no one could have imagined. Cities were being rebuilt. The scars of war remained, but so did a new sense of global unity. Humanity had faced extinction together, and survived. In the FYR, New United Earth headquarters in Geneva, Samantha Pearson prepared for her journey. Once a history teacher from Boston, she was now Earth's first ambassador to the Galactic Collective. Her ship, built with a combination of human innovation and alien technology, waited in orbit. "Are you nervous?" asked Alan Rogers, who had become an advisor on alien affairs due to his experiences during the war. Pearson smiled, terrified, but also excited. Who would have thought a history teacher would be representing all of humanity? "You understand our past," Rogers said. "That makes you perfect to help shape our future." Their conversation was interrupted by Lisa Monroe and George Martinez, who had married 6 months after the war. Both now led the Global Space Initiative, turning captured alien technology into new inventions for humanity. "The ship is ready," Martinez said. "We've installed the new faster-than-light drive. It's based on Dravarian technology, but with our improvements." Monroe handed Pearson a small device. "This personal shield generator will protect you if needed, just in case." "Let's hope I won't need it," Pearson said, tucking it into her pocket. Captain Kate Wilson arrived next. After Admiral Johnson's sacrifice, she had been promoted to lead Earth's growing defense fleet. She wore a new uniform with the United Earth insignia, a blue globe with stars surrounding it. "The New Horizon is ready." "For launch," she reported. "It's the finest ship we've built so far." Pearson nodded. "Thank you all. I couldn't ask for a better team." Meanwhile, at various points around the solar system, humanity was expanding outward. Mining operations on the Moon and Mars supplied materials for the rebuilding efforts. Research. Stations orbited Jupiter and Saturn, studying both the planets and keeping watch for any new threats. The most important outpost was on the edge of the solar system. Named Johnson Station after the fallen admiral, it served as an early warning system and the first point of contact for alien visitors. Ambassador Trellix of the Oridani had been officially assigned as the Collective's representative to Earth. He stood next to Pearson as they boarded the New Horizon. "Your species has accomplished more in 2 years than most do in 2 centuries, he said, his blue skin shimmering in the sunlight. "We had good motivation," Pearson replied. "Nothing unites people like a common enemy." "And now?" Trellix asked. "Now? We need to find common ground with our new neighbors," she said. The journey to the Collective headquarters took 3 weeks. The massive space station orbited a distant star and housed representatives from all 17 member species. When Pearson arrived, the full council was waiting. The representatives varied wildly in appearance. Some resembled insects, others looked like living crystals, and a few were so strange that human eyes could barely comprehend them. The council leader, a tall being with translucent skin named Foral, welcomed her. "Ambassador Pearson, we welcome Earth to this gathering of worlds." Pearson stood tall, despite her nervousness. "I bring greetings from all the people of Earth. We come seeking friendship and knowledge. Your world has suffered, greatly due to the actions of Commander Zerks," Foral said. "The Dravarian Empire has been sanctioned for this unauthorized invasion. They will provide resources to help rebuild your world." "We appreciate that," Pearson said. But Earth doesn't just want compensation. We want recognition. The Council members looked at each other. Recognition? One asked. Earth has proven itself, Pearson explained. We faced a technologically superior force and survived. We adapted, we fought back, and we won. We deserve to be treated as equals, not as a developing world to be protected. There was a long silence. Finally, Vorel spoke. Your point is valid. Earth has indeed proven itself worthy of respect. What do you propose? Full membership in the collective, Pearson said firmly. Equal voice, equal rights, and equal protection under your laws. This caused a stir among the council. Unprecedented, one member objected. No species has been admitted without centuries of observation. No species has successfully repelled a full-scale invasion with such limited technology, Trellix countered, standing beside Pearson. Humans are different. They adapt faster than any species we've encountered. The debate lasted for days. Finally, the council reached a decision. Vorel approached Pearson with a small crystal. This is the symbol of recognition, he explained. It grants Earth provisional membership in the collective, with full rights and responsibilities. In 100 years, we will review this status. Pearson accepted the crystal. Earth thanks you. We will prove ourselves worthy of your trust. When Pearson returned to Earth, she was greeted as a hero. The news of Earth's acceptance into the collective spread worldwide. It marked a new chapter in human history, the beginning of Earth's place among the stars. 5 years after the invasion, humanity had established its first colony on a distant world. The ship that carried the colonists was named Defiance in honor of Admiral Johnson's sacrifice. Captain Wilson commanded the ship, with Danny Baker as her communications officer. As they approached the new world, Wilson gathered the colonists on the observation deck. Today we plant the flag of Earth on a new world, she told them. Not as conquerors, but as explorers and builders. We carry with us the lessons learned during the war, that unity is strength, that adaptation is survival, and that courage can overcome any obstacle. The colonists cheered as the ship entered orbit around their new home. On Earth, in what was once his Nebraska cornfield, Alan Rogers stood with his wife Mary, looking up at the night sky. A monument now stood where the first alien ship had landed, engraved with the names of those lost in the war. Do you think they'll come back? Mary asked. The Dravarians, I mean. Alan shook his head. I doubt it. They learned their lesson. He pointed to the stars. Besides, we're up there now too, and everyone out there knows one important rule. What's that? She asked. Alan smiled. Earth is not yours to conquer. Throughout the galaxy, the story of Earth's resistance became legend. Species that had dismissed humans as primitive now approached with caution and respect. Earth established military outposts throughout the solar system, and a growing fleet of starships carried its flag to distant worlds. The one rule that aliens throughout the galaxy now understood with absolute clarity. Earth is not yours to conquer. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through conquest but through courage, unity, and an unbreakable will to survive.